Okay, so Ben, Jenna, you obviously remember getting the little postcard in the mail, the letter from the Teamsters. Right, so you're going to continue to get that letter and the postcard for about every 2 years, as long as you're with the Teamsters, retired from the Teamsters. The reason that you get the letter and postcard is because, even though they do the best job that they can to give you guys benefits, um, as you and I both know, they can't give you everything that you're going to need. So that's why they let you work with us. So the first thing that you're going to get at today is really, really simple. It's that no cost $4,000 benefit that they've set up for you. So the next thing that they have for you is the family information guide. So this is going to be like basically a precursor to your will, place for you guys to put all of your important benefits. The next benefit they have is the Best Benefits discount card. It can help take care of any out-of-pocket medical costs that you guys might have. And then the last thing is the child safety kits. So they work hand in hand with the Amber Alert service. I'm going to touch base on those in more depth in just a little bit here. And then the last thing is the additional package of supplemental benefits that the letter talked about. So these are designed to just fill in any gaps where work programs might leave off. They're the things that the Teamsters would have loved to give you, but they couldn't. So that's why they send us out here to work with you. So if I'm running through this with you guys and you say, okay, awesome, Allie, yeah, let's get it set up. Great, awesome. I'll get it all set up for you, no problem. Now, if this is, if it's the other way around, you guys don't see a need for this, don't worry. I'm not here to sell you something that you guys don't need. It's just that so many people love it because it's so much less expensive than you can get from a non-union company. So if by chance this doesn't meet a need, they actually ask you not to enroll. It's that quick and simple, guys. The only thing they do ask is whether it's going to be a yes or no. Definitely make that decision today. We have so many union members that we need to see. We don't have time to come back out. So definitely make a yes or no decision. Okay? Okay, awesome. So what you're going to find is a really, really simple benefit, guys. You're going to know in the next 15, 20 minutes if this works for you or not. So does that sound fair to the both of you? Okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first thing they have me do is just show you a quick video. It helps talk about, who we are as a company, how we work with the unions around here, just to help give you a little bit of a better understanding. Okay, guys, so the first thing they have for you is the family information guide. So like I said, they're going to be like a comprehensive roadmap to all of your important benefits. So, God forbid anything happens to either one of you guys, your family doesn't have to come turning over everything that you have. They should hopefully find this filled out. Makes it way easier for them. So the first box is really cut and dry. So name, address, where you work, and social. You throw that in there. Were either of you guys veterans? No? Okay. So you can just skip right over that box. Now, Jenna, you deserve more than 2 lines, so I have your own one of these as well. Now, the next box is going to be the persons to be notified. So this is going to be anyone that you guys wouldn't want to find out if something happened to you through like a text message, through Facebook, social media, anything like that. And then the person to be in charge of your final arrangements, obviously you guys would want that to be in each other. I would think about someone outside of the home as well, just in case something happens to the both of you, God forbid. And then this paper is going to be a lot more important for them, so you're going to want to make a copy or just give this to them as well. Now, I know it's not something that you guys are still young. I know it's not something that you might have really put too much thought into, but do you guys have a will set up? No? Okay. I always just say don't procrastinate on it too much, guys. New York is a probate state. So basically what that means is they can go and they can seize all of your assets back, tax them. It's messy. So what I always just tell people is check out LegalZoom.com. It's way cheaper than you can get sitting down with a lawyer, and you can do it right in your PJs and at least get something set up for you. Now, guys, the most important box on here is going to be your estate information. So basically millions of dollars of insurance money goes unclaimed every single year because partners forget to tell each other that they have stuff. Parents forget to tell their children that they have stuff. You guys might even forget that you have something. So you want to dig through everything that you guys have and then fill that in here. So Ben, you have your hospital medical through work, you said, right? No, that's Blue Cross Blue Shield. Okay, you're going to want to put that in there. There's no amount because it doesn't pay out. Now, I know the Teamsters usually offer you guys some sort of small life insurance. Do you have that? Okay, perfect. Now, do you remember if they ever asked you like medical questions, drew any blood, anything like that? No? Okay. So as I'm sure you know, that's what's called term insurance. So when you go away, leave, retire, God forbid you get fired, that goes away with you. But I definitely still put that in. I would fill it in pencil. That way, if something like that does happen, you can keep it updated. Now, are you guys working with anyone personally for life insurance? Privately, excuse me. No, you aren't? Okay. So actually, the first thing that you guys can put in here, I'll fill it in for you right now, is going to be that $4,000 benefit. So that I'll throw it in there for you. That way you guys have it all in one place. Okay, perfect. So the next section of this is going to be your financial institution information. Now, guys, this is just going to be whether you use a bank or credit union. That way, Tanya knows how to clear you out if anything happens. And now the last box in here, the funeral service request, guys. This is a really important box, too. I know it's not something that we talk about or think about. It's definitely not dinner table conversation. Have you guys put any thought into whether you're leaning towards a cremation or traditional? You're thinking traditional? Okay. So you're going to want to go ahead and think about all the details, how you would like the service to look, all of that information. You're going to want to put that in here. Really what it does is when your family's sitting down in the funeral home at the end of the day, we know how families are. They bicker. One of them is going to think you wanted, one thing. The other is going to think you wanted something completely different. This helps take away all that question and the arguments because they're already in a time of grief. Let them grieve. This helps make things so much easier. Now, sign and date this. That way that they know it's authentic to you. The bottom part of this, you can actually get notarized and it can be legally binding. But like I said, you can just sign and date it. That way they know it's authentic. So, leaving you guys two of these. These are going to be your homework. Now, the next benefit they have for you is the child safety kits. So, these are vital because they deal with our children's safety. Now, these work hand in hand with the Amber Alert service. As a mother, Jenna, what's your worst fear? Right, that's what all moms say. Something happening to them. We all have had that moment. Even me, just last month, I was in Target with my little niece and my nephew. I was just taking them shopping. My sister was busy. She couldn't take them out. So I was like, sure, I'll take them. I went to grab some cereal, throw it in the cart. I turn around. They both ran. Now, we all know that feeling. Your heart sinks. God, I was so scared to call my sister, tell her that, Ariella and Lucas, they're missing. But what's worse than that is that I didn't know what to do if something had happened to them. Luckily they just ran to the candy aisle, but what if someone had taken them? This helps make sure that you have all that information in one place. You're in a moment of panic, you run out to the car, you just hand this right to the police. You don't have to think about what they were wearing when you last saw them. This has everything all in one place for them. So I'm just going to walk you guys through how this works really quick. So you're going to want to open it up. And then, Tanya's name goes here, the day, month, year that you guys completed this on. Now, the first section of this is going to be personal information. So, name, birthday, height, weight, eye color, where you guys are living, mom, dad. Your phone numbers go right here at the very bottom. Now, guys, if things like height and weight that are going to change as she's still growing, she's super young, you're going to want to put that in pencil. So, keep it updated every 6 to 12 months. I always say, when the clocks change is a good time frame to judge it off. So then you're going to want to open this up some more. The second section is going to be for physical description. So whether Tanya has any birthmarks, scars, braces, she's too young to be hiding anything like tattoos from you, right? Yep, so you're going to want to list those in here and then just draw a circle or make an X on here. Just add a corresponding number so that it all adds up. The third section is going to be just for when, she takes you off just a little bit. Just pluck a couple hairs right out of her head. Make sure that the follicle is at the end of them, though, guys. And then you're just going to want to tape them right in here. Now, the last section of this, I always say, do it near bath time. You don't want inky fingers running all over the place. So this actually just peels back right like a Band-Aid. It is police-grade ink. But it's obviously non-toxic, like I said. Definitely do it in your bath time. Make sure she's not running around leaving ink splotches all over your house. Now, you don't actually have to roll the fingers. I know, like you see on CSI, they're always rolling. You actually just press, start left to right. That way you guys avoid any smearing for that. Now, the last section of this is for photos. So school photos work best. I always say, again, update every 6 to 12 months. Keep the old photos underneath when you update them, guys. It helps show facial progression. God forbid anything should happen to her. And then the very back just talks about the importance of teaching her how to use 911 and then not putting her name on anything that a stranger could see. Like, you know, those LL Bean backpacks that they have where you can have the names embroidered? Stick to last names on that. A stranger could walk up and see her name's Tanya and be like, hey, Tanya, you know, your mom and dad are in the hospital. They told me to come pick you up. Guys, she's young. She might not think about it if she's panicking. So you're going to want to come up with something, some sort of code word that if someone that she might not recognize does have to come pick her up because something happened to you guys, you know, they can say, you know, what was your dog's name? Blaze? Okay. They can say mom and dad sent Blaze. She knows it's okay to get in the car with them. And then the same sort of situation, if she's ever in, you know, an uncomfortable situation later on down the road, whether it be like a birthday party, sleepover, something like that, where she's feeling peer pressured, bullied to do something that she doesn't want to do, she can call you guys up and be like, hey, mom, is my phone charger at home? And you know that you have to go pick her up and get her out of there. So you guys can see why these are important, right? Okay, perfect. So when we had sat down with the International Union of Police Associations, they asked us to get these out to 100% of the community. Guys, as you can imagine, with our limited time and resources, that's next to impossible. There's so many of you guys, only a couple hundred of us. So what they have you do is 12 of the families that you care about most with kids under 18, sponsor them out for these kids, get them in their home. So who's going to be the first person that you guys want to do that for? You were talking about your brother. You said he had a couple little ones running around. I'm assuming he's going to want to be the first person that you guys want to do that for, right? Okay, perfect. So what's his name again? It was Tony? Okay, perfect. Was he married, living with anyone? He's married. Her name is Gemma. Oh, okay. And they have 3 little ones running around, right? Okay, perfect. Where are they living right now? Holton? Okay, perfect. And what was their phone number? Okay, perfect. Awesome. All right, guys. So awesome. You guys got those 12 people down. I'm actually going to shoot you a quick text, which you can forward right to them before we move ahead with anything here. It helps them make sure, you know, when I call, they know what I'm talking about. I'm not just randomly talking about their kids. Helps save the awkward conversation. So I'm going to send you guys that real quick. Okay, perfect. Now just go ahead and send that for me. I'm not going to move on until you guys send that. That way I know that they got it and they'll know I'm going to reach out to them. Okay, perfect, guys. So the next benefit they have for you is the Best Benefits discount card. So how this works is if you guys have any sort of out-of-pocket medical costs on things like vision, hearing, prescription, dental, this could help take care of the extra out-of-pocket that you guys pay, up to 60%. So the basic program is $6 a year, and that covers everything that I just talked about. The gold program, it covers everything that the basic program has, as well as chiropractic, vitamins, travel assistance. There's a 24-hour nurse helpline as well. So guys, I always just say, open this front page up right here. There's a 1-800 number you can call, or check out their website, see if it works with your insurance. Now, just remember, this is a supplement. This isn't actual healthcare in and of itself, and this isn't directly through us. This is just something we sit down that they have us give everyone we sit down with. This is a way to say thank you. So if this is something that works for you guys, you're going to want to go ahead, open it up to the middle here, fill it out just like an old magazine, mail it in, they'll send you your card. Now, if this doesn't work for you, you can literally just throw this away, use it for bonfire or something like that. But if you do know someone that has, you know, not so great health insurance that this could help out, you can always hand that off right to them as well. Okay, guys, so the last part of this is the additional package of supplemental benefits. So they have me just do a quick needs analysis survey for you guys to make sure that you qualify. So I'm just going to go ahead and ask you a few medical questions. If that's okay, if that sounds fair, I'll go ahead and get that started for you. Okay, perfect. Okay, guys, so what you've qualified for is the Premier Family Care Plan. So your weekly contribution, should you choose to enroll, is going to be $28. So how they come up with that is based off of the hour power principle. So just basically the idea is you take an hour of your work week, you pay yourself first, you can sleep soundly at night knowing that your family is protected, all the gaps are filled. So basically, if I was to come up to you, Ben, and say, hey, I'm putting you on an extra hour of work a week, are you going to go out buy a brand new Chevy Silverado with that extra hour? No, exactly. Now, the same works in reverse. If I was to take away an hour from you, are you going to have to sell all of Tanya's toys around here just to make ends meet? No, exactly. So that's how they make it affordable for you. So just to make sure, guys, for better or for worse, $28 a week wouldn't change too much around here for you, right? Okay, perfect. So then, Jenna, my next question for you is going to be, have either of you guys ever been on the financial side of a funeral before? No? Okay, I love to hear that. You guys are super young. You shouldn't have to see that yet. Do you guys have friends or family that have been through it that you remember hearing about? No? Okay. So a traditional funeral runs around $14,000, guys. A lot of people don't realize that that life insurance doesn't handle the cost of funerals the way it used to. So how it used to work is that if something happens to you, what Jenna would do is she would take that, the the $50,000 term policy that you have through work right now. She would hand it right to the funeral director, and that would just serve as collateral until the actual insurance check came in. So insurance companies used to only have 24 days to pay out on a claim. Now they can hold on to that money for 60 days, sometimes up to a year. It all depends on circumstances. Do you have any idea why they would want to hold on to that money? Right, exactly. They're making boku bucks off the interest by holding on to it. And that's why so many families end up being burdened with out-of-pocket costs when it does come to funeral time. So the next thing I want to talk to you guys about, there is two companies going around. One is out of Texas, it's called SCI, and the other one's out of Canada, it's called the Alderwood Group. Now what they're doing is they're going around, they're buying all the little mom and pop funeral homes. They're leaving Joe Smith's name on the door, but they're running things behind closed doors, corporate America style, trying to become like the Walmart of the funeral industry. So guys, why I bring this up is with their corporate policy, they require 50% sometimes up to 100% of a funeral right up front. Now, I don't know about your guys' current financial situation. Most of the people I sit down with, they don't have an extra $7,000 just laying around. And even the ones that do have that money is already being put towards bills that come after. So that's why they've come up with this. So what this is the Freedom of Choice Certificate. So how this works, guys, if something happens to you, Ben, if something were to happen to you, say, it could be cancer, disease, anywhere in between. You could walk outside, get struck by lightning, get hit by a car, anything like that. Doesn't matter how, where, when, why. This takes care of you. So Jenna, if something happens to Ben, what you're going to do is you're going to turn this over. You're going to hand it right to the funeral director. And actually, they accept it and they love it because of this little union bug down here. They know they're getting paid. They know it's backed. So what you're going to do is just turn this over. You're going to sit down. You're going to negotiate amount for the funeral. So Ben was leaning towards traditional. So say it ends up being that $14,000. You're going to want to put that right in here. And then any arrangements. So if, Ben, if you want like a mahogany box, celebration of life party, lilies, sunflowers, whatever type of flowers you want, put that in here. You're going to want to date it. And then, Jenna, you're going to sign as the beneficiary. As long as you guys both keep your funerals under this $20,000, there's no out-of-pocket costs for you. So, guys, $20,000, that's a really, really important number to remember. So two things are going to happen when you leave that funeral home. The first thing that's going to happen is the funeral director is going to call us at our corporate office, and he's going to ask, were they enrolled? You guys should be. Now, the next thing he's going to ask is how much money did they have to work with? So if you guys were to tell him $20,000, if we told him $20,000, how much do you magically think your funeral is going to end up being? Right, exactly. Probably 21. They're greedy. It shouldn't work like that. We don't allow it to work like that. What we do is we cut them a check for that $14,000, take care of the funeral, and then, Jenna, we cut you a check for the remainder. Now, this works a lot like a prearranged funeral. Have you guys heard anything about those before? No, okay. So really a prearranged funeral, it's literally just things are taken care of financially before death. They're really, really great in concept, and these are similar, but a prearrangement does have a couple of flaws. So the first flaw is that with a prearrangement, you are locked into one funeral home. So say that you guys want to go retire, down in Florida where you don't get these awful freezing cold, super long winters. We'd have to worry about shipping the body all the way back up to the funeral home that you guys chose. This is permanent and portable. This goes with you no matter where you go in the United States. Now, the second flaw with the prearrangement is that they are only worth as much as you're paying into them. So say you're paying $100 a month, which is usually what they run at for a prearrangement, and then you pass away a year later. Guys, $1,200 is not a lot of money to put towards a funeral. This is literally a blank check for you for $20,000 for both of you guys. So Jenna, why would something like this be important for you to have for Ben? Right, exactly. It's peace of mind that you're not going to have to worry about pulling, $14,000 or more out of your, out of money that you don't have. And Ben, same question for you. Why would something like this be important for you to have for Jenna? Right, guys, this is the cleanest, simplest, most compassionate way to deal with what happens to every single one of us someday. So, now, as you guys know, taking care of your funeral is of, utmost importance. What's, some would argue is even more important is what comes after the funeral. So, Ben, if something happens to you, is Jenna going to continue to get your weekly paycheck? No, of course not. Most families don't have that. So what kind of monthly bills do you guys have? Okay. So, mortgage, car payments, cell phone, food. The kids, they're not free. Jenna, if something happens to Ben, how are you going to continue to pay for all this on your own? Right. You're probably not, and that's really worrying for most families. Now, you guys are the perfect example. Most families that I sit down with, they have some sort of life insurance. Like I just said, you guys are the perfect example of this. I want you guys to think of like a $100 bill. Jenna, say that you have a $100 bill. You go out Friday. The kids want pizza and some pop for supper. You break into that $100 bill. How much of that's going to be left on Monday? Right. If you're anything like me, you're going to be negative $50. So life insurance, liquid cash, they work the exact same way, guys. So the first thing that you're going to do when you get that money back is pay off where you got, the funeral costs, where you got the funeral done, all of that. Now, I'm not saying that you guys are going to squander, splurge with the money, but the fact of the matter is, within 2 years, the leftover insurance money is usually always gone. So that's why they've come up with this. This is called paycheck protection. So what this does, Ben, if something happens to you, Jenna is going to get a check in the mail every month for $1,600 for 36 months. Now what that allows her to do is take that policy, put it right in the bank, let it become the nest egg it was intended to be, but she is still able to pay all of the bills, make sure that the girls are taken care of. Now, the same thing works in reverse. Jenna, if something happens to you, Ben is going to get a check in the mail every month for $1,500 for 36 months. And again, what that allows him to do is live the life that, him and the girls are adjusted to right now. If something happens to you, Jenna, the girls, they're already losing a mom. If Ben has to go pick up 2 extra jobs, they're losing a dad too. So, guys, why would something like this be important for you? Okay, yeah, exactly. Is making sure that, the girls, at the end of the day, they're still taken care of. Now, this one's a little hard to talk about, guys. As parents, the worst thing that you can imagine is having to bury your child. Now, what's even worse than that is not having the money to give them the funeral that they deserve. So, guys, what this does is if anything happens to Tanya, she's covered for $10,000 of whole life coverage. But what's really amazing about this, guys, is when she turns 21, she actually gets to up this policy to $50,000 of full life coverage. No medical questions asked. God forbid she develops childhood diabetes. She has a really, really bad car accident, ends up, leading to permanent health issues. We can't deny her coverage. So this is really amazing. It sets her up for the rest of her life. Now, guys, the next benefit that they have for you is the accidental portion. So in all reality, you're 10 times less likely to pass away from cancer and disease tomorrow than you are from some sort of freak accident. So again, if anything happens to you on off the job, you could fall off the roof, clean in the gutters, you could fall into, one of the machines at work, God forbid. You guys are both covered for an additional $40,000 on top of your 20. And Tanya is covered for additional 8. Now, automotive, so, obviously driving, it's the most dangerous thing that we do every single day, just because of how frequently we do it and how many of the odds are out of our control. So if anything happens to you guys in a personal vehicle, so you could be in the backseat sleeping, You could be at fault for the accident. It could be in a friend's car. It doesn't matter. You guys are covered for an additional $80,000. So Tanya is also covered for an additional 16 if something should happen to her in the same way. So guys, if something were to happen to you right now, you were in a really bad car accident, you guys both passed away, you would be covered for each $100,000. Now that is all for that same $28 a week. So that still makes sense for $28 a week, right? Right, exactly. You're right, it does. So the last part of this, the accidentals, is a common carrier. So that's going to be anything that you guys pay a fare to ride on. So bus, plane, train, taxi, Uber. If you guys go on a cruise, have a Titanic moment, you're covered for an additional $200,000, and Tanya's covered for an additional $40,000. Now, the last section of this is the hospital supplements living benefits. This is the part of the program that most people love the most. So, for the first part of it, let's say that I can stop getting you killed now. I'm just gonna get you hurt. These are the ones that you can use while you're still here. So, let's say that Tanya is running outside. She's kicking the soccer ball around. She trips, falls, sprains her ankle in a ditch. Where are you guys heading? Right, the ER? Exactly. Now, what is your copay? $100? Yeah, guys, if you're like me, $100 is $100. Now, on top of that, you know, ER trips, they're never quick. You think you're going to be in there for maybe 2 hours. You actually end up being there for 4, 6, sometimes 8. It depends on how busy it is that day. So on top of you guys having to pay $100 for your copay, you're also missing, probably more than half of your workday. So what this does is for any sort of accident injury, as long as you see the doctor within 72 hours of the accident occurring, we'll actually send you a check for up to $200. It's per visit. It's unlimited as many times as you guys need to use it. Especially having little Tanya running around. I see how much energy this girl has. So if anything happens to her, you have that there, and you guys get paid for her, or for you guys too, going into the hospital. Now, the next part of this is if you're in any sort of accident that puts you in the hospital overnight. So Ben, just imagine that you had a really, really bad car accident. Someone blows their stop sign, they crash into you going 60 miles an hour. The last thing you remember is just seeing your life flash before your eyes. You wake up 10 days later in the hospital, heart monitors beeping, you have tubes coming out of every which hole. Jenna's standing over there, teary-eyed, who just woke up. She can't believe that you're here. What this does is this pays you $400 a night that you are admitted into the hospital. So say that you're in there for 10 days, that's $4,000. Now, obviously, neither of you guys are going to be working if you're in the hospital. Ben, Jenna's going to be right by your bedside making sure that you're okay. But what's still adding up? Bills, exactly. They're still coming in the mailbox. This helps make sure that if something like that happens to you guys, you're still sound financially. Now, it is for 365 days per occurrence. So basically what that means is if you get out of there after that first 10 days and then, a month later something else crazy happens, the 365 cycles all back and starts over. Now, if the accident's a little bit worse, you guys get put in the intensive care unit. It actually bumps out to $800 a night that you're in there. It does cap at 14 days. God forbid that ever happens to you. It caps at 14 days just because if you're in there any longer, the chances of you having to touch the funeral money, they're a little bit higher. So, but if not, you guys don't lose the money completely. It just goes back to the $400 a night. Now, this is strike and layoff proof. So, Ben, you're part of the team, so that's how you got into this. If you guys ever go on an authorized strike, we'll actually pay your premiums for up to a year. Never ask that money back while you're on strike. And then if you get laid off, either of you guys, God forbid, we'll actually pay your premiums for up to 3 months. Never ask for that money back. So, guys, you have all of your hospital benefits taken care of if anything happens to you as far as any accidents go. You have all of your accidentals covered, so if you have a really bad car accident, anything like that, you're covered. Tanya's all set, God forbid anything happens to her, but even if not, she's set up for the rest of her life. Then both of you guys' incomes are protected as well as your funerals taken care of, all for that $28 a week. So that's the option A. That's what most people go with. It gets everything all taken care of right away, all in one fell swoop. I did come up with an option B for you guys. It's just what's called the semi-inflation proof version. So it doesn't account for a funeral 40, 50 years down the road from now. So it's more of a starter program for you guys. So the only thing that changes with this is your monthly payment drops to $18, and your funeral coverage ends up just being $8,000 for each of you guys. So like I said, most people go with option A, but which one's going to work better for you guys? Okay, perfect. So the only thing I'll need to get started with that is your driver's licenses, any daily medications that you're on, and doctor's information, and we can go ahead and get started. Okay, perfect, guys. So I'm just about ready to get out of here. Now, this is one last benefit that they have for you guys. This is actually what some people do consider to be one of the most important benefits. So, we get asked all the time, why don't we make this available to the general public? Why do we work strictly with unions associations? At these rates, we absolutely could work with, just anybody. However, we don't. So if you hadn't been a part of the Teamsters band, there's a really good chance that you never would have heard of this program. So what they allow you to do is, for families that you care about the most, you're actually allowed to sponsor these benefits out for it. That way they have a chance to see them. So I know that we were talking about your brother a little bit earlier with the little ones. I'm assuming that he's going to be the first one that you guys want to do this for, right? Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to write down all of his information real quick. Now, while I'm doing this, you guys go ahead and start thinking about who you want to sponsor out for this. But think carefully. Again, guys, you only have 4 people that you can do this for. Okay, perfect, guys. So now I'm just about ready to get out of here. Do you guys have any questions about anything we talked about today? No? Okay, perfect, guys. I've worked really hard to make sure that you understand exactly how this works, and then, God forbid, if anything happens to you, how you use this. So, I actually need you guys to do me a favor really quick. Just like with the child safety kits I had you send out that text, make sure that they know I'm reaching out to them. I need you to do the same thing for everyone that you just sponsored to see the rest of the program. Now, you know as well as I do, they're going to answer a call from you before they answer a call from me. You know that I'm not a telemarketer. You know that this program has value, obviously, right? Okay, perfect. So, guys, do you think you go ahead and reach out to them for me? Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pack up here. Why don't you just call your brother up right now? You said he's living in Hilton. I'm actually going to be in Hilton tomorrow, so call him up. Why don't I get him on my schedule? That way I can get right out there, make sure that he's taken care of for you. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So call him up.